and we're going to be doing a flight down into Skiathos for the Locator approach. The 737-800 ZiboMod, so we should have some good fun. Also got some tutorials coming as well for you guys that want to know how to fly the 737 and set the aircraft up and learn a bit more about it, so stay tuned for that as well. So we're going to Skiathos, we're going to do the Locator approach. We're here in Athens, we're going to be departing 03 right, and when we come in, we're going to be coming in for the Locator for 01, so it should be a lovely approach. Fly down visually from the minimums, and then we'll come down on our descent path. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Leave your comments down below for any tricky approaches you'd like to see on the channel, and we can get inside the cockpit and start the aircraft up now, ready for our departure route. So we're here now in the 737-800 cockpit now, so we're going to do our pre-flight procedures. So we've got our battery parking brake which is set. We're going to get our So here we are now in the 737-800 cockpit, where we're going to do our pre-flight procedures. So we've got our parking brake which is set. We'll go overhead now, get our battery on and guarded, standby power is guarded and ground power is on. We'll go to bat and ground power. From there we can put the left pump on, we can get the APU all up and started as we've got our weights and everything all set into the aircraft. So APU is started, which is checked. Once APU gen is on, then we can switch it all over, which will also be set. We can get our position lights which are on and checked. Logo lights, we don't really need logo lights for now, which is fine. From there, cabin lights, emergency lights can be armed. We can get the no smokings on along with our seat belts. We'll go overhead, we'll get the IRSs aligned, so we'll stick them to nav. Packs and trim air can go on now, so we'll get the packs on to auto, the isolation valve is open, and we'll get the APU bleed on as well, which is also set and checked. IFF mode selectors are nav, and now we can go into the FMC and get the aircraft all ready to go. So before we do that, we'll do our APU test before we switch over the APU. So there is our overheat detection, which is right there. Going to do the fire. Overheat detection. Go test the bottles, which are all set and checked, and test the cargo as well, which is all set and checked for us today. So we go down into the FMC now, we can get the IRS all ready to go. So we're coming out of Athens, Lima Golf Alpha Victor. Okay, so we get up from the left GPS, we'll go and put our positioning in, go to our routing for Skiathos. We've got Lima Golf Sierra Kilo. On for our departure now, we're going to be leaving out of 03 right. We're going to be taking the Ropox 1 Juliet, which is set. Over on for the rest of our route, we're then going to be taking the Bravo 1, which will ride us down to Sigfo. And from Sigfo we're then going to take the arrival in, which is going to be the Sigfo 1 Charlie, and we're coming in for the NZB Locator approach for 01. Now if we check over on the charts, we'll go and have a look on the arrival. So when we come down, we are going to basically go from the Skiathos Sierra Kilo Papa 113.4 VOR, and then we're going to hit that 203. 10 nautical miles, we made that right hand turn to the 008, and we can see that 1600 is for our minimums and our missed approach point. So at minimums, pretty much the Foxtrot Quebec 01 will disconnect, and then we'll follow down with our speeds relative to our descent rate. So we're going to be going for the Sierra Kilo Papa transition. Can put that in, activate the route up now, go to our perf. As we can get all of that in, we've got 6.3 on our fuel today. We only need 5.2, so we've got 1.3 of reserves. We've got a cost index today coming out of 80. We've got flight level 140, which is also checked. As we get our ISO and everything, 03415. And that's going to give us a +5 on the temperature, which is all set. Activate that off. Steep descent, that's fine. for our takeoff, go full takeoff, jump into climb 1. Coming out on our speeds, we've got flaps 5, we've got 140, 142 and 150 for V2. So rotate on 142, V2 is at 150, centre of gravity coming down 21.4, okay, which is 5.5, which is as usual. Coming out of the winds now, on for the meter as we come out of lovely Athens today. We're looking around 04025, okay, which is in. As we go back, nothing's really changed there, which is all fine and set for us. So now that's all good for us. We've got the FMC already and prepared. We can go back over to our overhead now as we go back in for our checklist, ready to go out of 03 right. So going over now, transponder standby. We can get the indicated airspeed, which we've got 150, which is checked for V2, which is set. Heading for the takeoff runway is going to be today on the 032. Yeah, we set on both courses, 032 and 032, which is set. Get the first officer's panel in. We'll also go and get our winds just to double check everything is going okay. So we'll get a request for the weather, and we've also got in Athens, which should be a really nice departure today, which is coming out on the Lima Golf Alpha Victor. So we're getting the weather, we'll send that off. It should be relative to what we've got, QNHs etc. we can get as well, which is not a problem. So on for the rest of our checklist, we'll come back to that in just a few moments time. Overhead now, on for the 032 on our heading. Initial altitude, we are going to be I think 4,000 above. Once we come out, we're going to leave out, take a right hand turn to 084, which will backtrack us on to the Athens VOR, which is the 1144. Okay, which is set. Then as we leave out, max 210 on the turn, bank 15 degrees. So what we can do is, as soon as when we do come out, we're going to come out for 15 degrees, so we'll put 15 degrees bank on as we'll hold it, and then we can change that back after, just after we get onto the 084. From there we're going to then turn onto the 349 to go up to Ropox. So that's all set and checked for us. Heading speeds are all set. Initial altitude we'll just put up to 140, we'll just climb direct straight out, 4,000 above by the time we come out. Your damper now at overhead can go on, which is set. We can get the APU gen on, which is also set and checked. CPU bleed can stay with the engine bleeds off. Goes CPU gen TR1, which is set. Flight altitude coming in is 14,000. Airport elevation coming down today is going to be 54, so we'll leave that at 50. Okay, 50 set. Land altitude set. Flight directors can now both go on, which is also set and checked. Go and get the weather now. So 04025, which we initially had 1014s on the QNH, so we can get the 1014, which is in, which is set. 1014, we'll get the reserve gauge as well. 1014, which is also set, and we said 040 at 25. So 04025, which is also in and set. So we're all good there. Everything's all set for us. Going over to the overhead now, carrying on. LNAV and VNAV is required. Altimeter ref, which is 1014, which is set and checked on the reserve and first officers. Auto brake can be set now to RTO, which is set and checked. Com radios are set. We've got 11440, which is in, and we can see that for the Alpha Tango Victor, which is coming out on the departure, which is right here. But we're going to intercept onto the 349. So we put the 349 in here. Okay, there's 349, which is set. And that is pretty much us now. We can test the lights, make sure everything's all good and there for us, which is set. Put the lights back. can see over that we've got our doors open and the air stairs. So we'll go over now. Com radios are set and doors can now be closed. We've switched over from the APU so we can turn everything off, and now we can see that all the lights are going to shut. So forward entry will close, the lights will go out, and then we'll be all set to go. So there we go, lights out, and then we should be ready to all leave. So there's the lights gone, and we are now ready to call the tug. Okay, so before start checklist, we've got the auto throttle which we can on, which is set. Left, centre, right fuel pumps can go on, so we've got the left and right fuel pumps, nothing in the centre, which is also checked. Electric hydraulic pumps can now go on, which are checked, along with the window heat, which can also be set. Anti-collision light can now go on, which is checked. Parking brake is set, ground equipment is removed, and engine area is clear. We can do the recall, which is just the electrics, and we're all ready to go. If we go overhead now, seeing as everything's all ready, we can test the flaps, which are there. Flight recorder, which is also set and checked. We can test the speed warnings. Should be able to test the stalls, and everything is all set for us. So we can put the altimeter.
Alright, looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
1014, which is all good for us. As we leave out, tug's going to lift us up now. Secondary display unit is engines, and our lower display unit has also got the engines on as well. Packs can now be turned off, which are checked, and we can call out for our engine starts. Engine bleeds are off, the APU bleed is on now, everything is all set overhead. Probes will come on after engines start. We can see that the aircraft is Cat 3 certified, Cat 3 Alpha. I'm going to be doing some tutorials soon on the
Welcome aboard, Captain. Toes connected, bypass pins inserted. Go and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
Okay, parking brake release.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
Okay, so we can go overhead now. Packs are off and checked. We've got electric hydraulics on. We'll put engine starts to both, and we'll go for engine number 2. So start valves open. N2 is coming to life. All pressure temps will ignite. As soon as we inject fuel, 25% N2, we'll then see our EGT start to increase. Engine number 2 has come to life now, so we go for engine number 1. Then you'll see start valves open, N2 is increasing, oil pressure and temps will come to life, 25% N2 will inject fuel, and then we'll see our EGT increase.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
Okay, so tug's now going to drop us down. As he leaves now, we can go to our before taxi checklist.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the right. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
See you soon, bye-bye. So, generators 1 and 2 can be switched over, which are checked. We've got the probe heats now, which can go on and checked. We get the packs to auto, the isolation valve to auto. Engine bleeds can go to on. APU bleed can go off now with the APU, which is also set. We go to Gen 1, which is also checked. Engine start switches can be continuous, which are set, and we've got our flaps and elevator trim, which is 5.50. So we'll go do the 5.50 on the trim. Okay, which is set. Flaps 5, which is set. So we're just going to reserve gauge on, which is all checked. Flaps 5's coming in now, as we are now all ready to go. So, our taxi checklist is pretty much all done. We're all ready to go. Before taxi checklist will be taxi lights will be on, which will be set. So we'll bring the controls over. Flight controls are free and correct, which are set. So, as soon as we are now ready to go, we can taxi on down to runway 03 right, which is going to be a little trip straight down Delta. We'll come out on the Delta 8, take a right onto Delta, move all the way down to the bottom, and then we can line up for Delta 2. So you imagine Delta 1 be the runoff, or we can come on through the Delta 1 and then do a run up. So, can release the brakes, put taxi lights, which can go on now, which is set, and we're all ready to go. So apply now.
We're ready to go when you are.
So what we did today was
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. This is your
I decided to overclock my RAM to 3000 megahertz because my RAM's only running at 2666. So I thought I'd overclock it, so we got it to about 3000 megahertz. And it's made a slight difference to the stutteriness.
Once all your items are put away,
so far so
the aisle and
good.
sit down in your seat to allow other passengers to find their seats as well. If you are seated in an emergency exit
So we're going to taxi on down now to Delta 8,
in the safety card in the seat back in front of you.
and then make
Please
our
ensure
right
you are
hand
willing
turn.
and able to perform the actions required. If you are not able or prefer not to perform these
As you can
actions,
see
please
here,
let a flight attendant know so you
gonna
can
come
be
out.
seated. Feel free to use your cell phones during the rest of the boarding process, but we do ask that laptops, tablets, and any other larger electronic devices are stowed once we depart from the gate. Thank you, and welcome aboard.
So we'll take this right hand turn now.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 735. Our flight time will be roughly 35 minutes. Please note the cabin door is now closed. We ask that you make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your larger devices are now shut down and stowed. If you have not already, please fasten your seatbelt and verify it is low and tight across your lap. Your tray tables and seatbacks must be in the full upright and locked
Okay,
position for
LDAV
departure.
can be engaged
Cabin
as
crew,
well.
prepare doors for departure, cross-check, verify straps, and stand by for all calls. Flight attendants, please prepare cabin for departure and cross-checks.
So we'll taxi down to the end. We'll come round onto Delta 1,
Ladies and gentlemen,
take up
please
all the
direct
runway.
attention to the flight attendants for a safety demonstration. When the seatbelt light is fastened, please make sure that your seatbelts are fastened low and tight across your lap. To fasten into
So
the
I've got
middle
25
space
knot
between one
winds
another
coming
and
out.
by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. Please adjust the seat will fasten throughout the entire flight as you may experience unexpected turbulence. Please take a few moments to now locate one of the several emergency exits on this aircraft. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. In case of an emergency and we need to evacuate the aircraft, there is lighting on the floor that will guide you towards the exit. In the event that the cabin loses pressure, an oxygen mask will drop right in front of you. To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you. Place it normally. Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to the mask. If you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask first and then assist others. Leave your mask on until a member of the crew advises you it's safe to remove it. In the unlikely event of a water landing, a light vest.
So we're going to be doing some tutorials on the 737 for you guys that want to learn how to fly the 737. So we'll be doing individual tutorials on different sections as we go through. So I'm going to do the auto land proper procedures with you, calculate our winds as well coming down. So we'll have everything all set up and you guys can do an accurate auto land Cat 3 and learn all the basics, ins and outs, however complex you want it, of the 737. As I like the 737, I think it's a really great aircraft to fly. It's the right size, the systems are great, and it's very simple and easy to understand what it's doing.
If you require additional lighting, there is a reading light on the panel above you.
So we'll start to slow down now as we come down to the hold line. Okay. So there's our hold line for us. As we come round the bend now to line up for 03 right. So as we go to line on for the taxi and onto the runway now, we can put our runway turn-offs on. Taxis can go off, which are set. Strobes can go to on, which are also set and checked. As we now get ready to take off. So for takeoff checklist, parking brake, which is alright. We've got our fuel flow, which is done. Center pumps, which are off and checked. De-ice is off. Cabin lights are set. Flight instruments are also checked. We've got the 1144 for the ATV VOR. We're going 032. We're going to intercept for the 349 for Rojox from the ATV VOR, which is set coming in for 14,000 feet. Takeoff data V1 rotate, 14042 for rotate, 150, which is set in. We've got LNAV already pre-armed, and we are all ready to go. So, now we've got our runway turn-offs on. We can now go and line up. 15-degree bank as we come out onto that right-hand turn, which is going to take us onto the 084. As it says on the charts, it'll be a 15-degree bank turn, so we'll put 15 degrees bank in, which we've put in on the heading. So the aircraft's flight director should give us just a 15-degree bank right-hand turn, and we can put it back to 30. So we put it there to 15. On this right-hand turn here, it needs to be 15 degrees, bank 15 degrees, max 210 in turn. So we're all ready to go. So we'll go overhead now. We've got on our landing lights, which are also set and checked. And we can power on up to 40%. Okay, 40% is stabilised, push forward on a column, and we can toga. Airspeed live.
80 knots.
Check. Throttle hold. 100, he's back on the column.
V1, rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
Gear up. Auto brake can be turned off, which are checked.
400.
400 checked. LNAV's now engaged. We can now bug up 210, which is our max, which we can go up to. As we're going to come out onto the 084, which is also going to be checked. We're coming down. 1,000 checked, so climb's going to come in now, so we can lower our pitch as we come down for flaps 1. Okay, there's flaps 1 as we go into that 082 now. There's our 15 degrees of bank. I'm going to come up onto 210. We'll hold it out here as we come round, as it is pretty rocky. You can see the flight director all over the place trying to compensate for the wind that's hitting it. So we're going to stay pretty much for our flaps up. I'm going to keep 1 engaged for now as we come through. And as we make that next right hand turn onto the 084, then we should be all good to go. So a little bit of wind coming in as we're going to come down to 210. Start to ease off to the right now. Engine start switches can be turned off now, which are set and checked. Runway turn-offs can be turned off as well, which are also set. For our after takeoff checklist, as it is very, very rocky today. So I'm just keeping a little higher than the flight director, as I don't want to speed up too much. We've got that 210 on the turn. Now that we have passed 210 on that turn, we can now go to our flaps up. We can engage VNAV as well, which is now going to take us up to 230. On for that right hand turn, as we come back around, we can see then we're going to intercept back in for the ATV VOR.
1,000 to go.
1,000 to go, which is checked. So we need to go up to 140. Okay, flight director is going to come in now. And then for that right hand turn coming out, we are going to be coming back onto the 260 to intercept. to hold 230
1,000 to
now.
go.
1,000 to go. So I don't know why I keep saying 1,000 to go. We've got 14,000, which is set. As we pass around the bend now. Once that right hand turn for the 240, which is also set and checked. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to engage the autopilot. Let the autopilot now take control. So there's 240, thought we had flaps up, which obviously wasn't set. N1's it in, I'm going to put it to level change now, as the aircraft's still holding out into climb. It's coming out on N1. So we're going to take that right hand turn now for the 240 as we hit level change, passing through 8,000 feet. Gear can now be turned off.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now passed 10,000 feet. You may now turn on your larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder to please keep your seatbelt fastened while you're seated and do not congregate in the galleys or near the lavatory. This aircraft is equipped with onboard Wi-Fi. You will be required to pay a small fee if you wish to access it. We do offer complimentary in-flight TV thanks to our partners. Connect to the Wi-Fi and you'll be able to access our wide range of free live TV and paid movies library.
Der Kabinenbesatzung wurde bereits gestattet, für die Vorbereitungen aufzustehen. Wir möchten Sie bitten, weiter die Anschnallzeichen zu beachten.
The flight crew has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign.
QNH is now back to standard, which is set, passing 9,000. Overhead now, we can get the landing lights, which are all going to be off. Runway turn-offs are off, taxis are off, which are checked. Climb out, CMDA, which is engaged, which is also set and checked. Passing 10,000 feet, below 250, landing lights are off, fasten seatbelt signs can now be turned off, which is also set and checked. Centre fuel pumps as required, as we've got no fuel in the centre. And that is it now. So, after takeoff check is complete. 1,000 to go for 14,000. Just hold it there. Okay, so we are now at 14,000 feet. As we are now, we're going to go to our top of climb. We can see our top of descent, which is right literally in view now, as we are literally not that far away from our arrival. So what I'm going to do, guys, before we switch on to the 359 or the 349 to ROPOX, I'm going to leave you with the takeoff cinematics, and then what we can do is we'll go in and get ready for our top of descent, ready to come into a lovely Skiathos for the 03 locator approach. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you all when we get back in the flight deck. Guys, welcome to the cockpit, where we are now going to get ready to do our final preparations for the aircraft, ready to come down. So as we can see, the METARs coming down are not very good, so we're going to go and put in our forecast now as we get ready. So we're going to put in 200, 150 and 100, which is all set. Coming in, we've got for our descent, we've got 276 at 012. We've also got in for 1500 01015. 10,000 03026. Okay, which is also set and checked, and we'll get the QNHs all in as well. So we've got our checklist ready for us to come down. We'll get our winds as well. Once we get that, we can also get our METARs. So coming down in for the METARs for a lovely Skiathos, we have got 02006 and QNH is 1015. So what we can do is get 1015 preset. Okay, 1015, 1013 for the QNH, and 1015, which is already preset. So because we've got 020 at 06, we're coming in for 01, so we've got a headwind So because it's under 10 knots, it'll be +5. Anything over, then in the tutorials I'm going to do, we'll go through the winds for the auto lands, etc. So we've got 67.8 coming down, 5.2 to 4.7 to 5.2, which is going to give us 0.5, 67, which will give us 67.3. Okay, so we can come in. We've got a little bit of turbulence as well, so put 150 in, and we are going to take a +5 as it's 6 knots down, which is all fine. Coming in on our braking, we can go and get our landing performance. So we're coming in for 0.1. Winds are down is 020 at 0.6. Temperature down in Skiathos is 31. QNH is 1015. We're coming in for flaps 30. Everything's going to be all good here. We've got in 67.3. Okay, which is set. +5 on the ref, so we can take max auto brake, which will be set as well. 20 nautical miles now just from our top of descent. On the planner, we're pretty much going to come down on par. Sigfo, which is going to be next. From Sigfo, we're then going to basically come down. There's the Sierra Kilo Papa 4000 above, and then we're going to turn around. So what we're going to do is we'll get a hold into there when we do come down. So on here for the arrival, we've got the hold in for Sierra Kilo Papa, which is right here. The hold is in. I'm going to tell it to actually put the hold in properly, so then we can get everything all done. So as we come out of that, let's take the step off, which is set. So next hold, as we're going inbound, 349, let's check over. We've got 262 to 282, and we're going to be taking left-hand turns. So we want to be coming back on the 262. Left-hand turns, and it's going to be, should be about 1 minute. So we'll say 1 minute for holding, which is checked. So now when we come in for the arrival, we should see that we've got the hold there. When we go into plan, there is the hold for us, and then we're going to basically cut off and then make a left-hand turn to come all the way down, where we're then going to basically make that right-hand turn, which is going to lead us down 10 nautical miles out. So let's put the Sierra Kilo Papa in, 1134. Okay, which is set. Also going to put it on the first officer's side. So as we're doing the locator approach, we can get down, as we've got our top of descent just within 10 nautical miles, so we'll put it down to 4,000 feet just to start the initial descent down 4,000 as we go down in. So you can see that we're going to come in, we're going to swing around onto the 082 and then come back inbound onto the 262. We can see that here, the 262 is the inbound, and then we're going to go around onto the 082, holding for 1 minute, left-hand turns, which is all set and checked for us. So top of descent, let's check out. We've got 4,000 above, Sigfo. We're going into the hold anyway, so 4,000 above, and then we're going to come down 2,000, 1,006, and then runway 01. So minimums is going to be 1,600, as we can see here. And 1,600 feet we'll disconnect, and then we'll run it down off of the NDB. So the NDB for the locator is going to be the 326, as we can see here, the Sierra Kilo Charlie. So the 326 can go in down on the NDB. Okay, so we've got 326, and we'll put 326 in here. Okay, which is also set. So if we put the NDB in now, we can see that it will come once we get within range. So we'll leave the NDB there, and we'll leave the VOR for the Sierra Kilo Papa, which we're just tracking inbound to now. We are 30 odd miles out, and as we're descending now, we can go under to 250, which we can also set and check. So we'll get the speed brakes open. 250. As we come down, we don't need engine anti-ice as we are 18 degrees up. Get down onto the descent checklist now as we come.
Gentlemen, the flight crew has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelt.
Okay, so we've got Skiathos just in the view. Slowing down to 280 now.
We have begun our final descent into your destination. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you. Please complete all Wi-Fi related tasks and stow any larger electronics.
Okay, so for our descent checklist, we've got the ASUS report information which was all set in 020061015, which is set on the altimeters, which is also checked. We're going to switch them over for 4,000 feet, which is why we're going to go into the hold, which is 4,000, and we have set. We're currently coming in on the 349 currently, which is set and checked. Radios, we've also got the 11340, which is for the Sierra Kilo Papa VOR, which we're going to go into the hold for. Got the 326 NDB locators, which are right here, so we're going to leave the locator here for us. And we've got the VOR in for the Sierra Kilo Papa, which we are now tracking inbound to on the 113.4. We're going to hit hold, go into the 082 onto this 262 inbound, and then we're going to track off to the 203. We'll track out 10 nautical miles, and then we're going to make that right hand turn max at 185, and then once we get to the Foxtrot Quebec 01, that is where we're going to disconnect for our minimum 1600, and then we're going to come down. So we had 150 for 155, so we're looking around 800 feet per minute on the descent. Can knock in our 250 for our speed. 10,000 coming down. SIGFA will be for flight levels 86. We can see now that we've got the NDB in for 01, which is the 008, which we can now track the courses in for. 008, which is checked. 008, which is also set and checked. As we can see now, as we're coming in to our VOR, which is the Skiathos, and then we're just going to turn around and come back into the hold to then come back down onto the approach. So we're looking at 800 feet per minute. We've got descent path at 3 degrees, and missed approach point is at the locator. So right there is missed approach point. Minimums is going to be right here, pretty much. We'll disconnect before we start the descent down the Foxtrot Kilo 081, and then there we are going to disconnect. So come down through 9005 now. We can get the speed brakes open again. Speed restrictions coming down 200 for the VOR, and then we come into the hold, which will be set and checked. 240 now, okay, which is also set and checked. Send it through 9,000. We can put our landing lights, which are on. Over for our checklist. MCP altitude set for 4,000 feet currently. We've got the approach speed rev, which is 150, VREV 30, +5. Got the VOR courses in, which is the 1134, which we're currently 13 miles out from. NDBs are the 326, which has come in now, Sierra Kilo Charlie, which we can verify as well, the Sierra Kilo Charlie, which is the locator for the NDB. From there we've got the de-ice is off, landing altitude, which is checked. We checked the landing altitude, which is 54, and we've got 50 set overhead, which is currently set and checked. Auto brake is max. Altimeter is set to local once we get to 4,000 feet. And then from there, we're then going to basically check our speed, 250 under 10,000, landing lights are on, passenger signs are also on, and check the ASUS for any updates. So we'll check the ASUS quickly just to see if there is any weather updates that we need to know about. Whilst we wait for that, there's the decel for 200 knots, so we may as well start with decel now. through 6007. It's coming under 230 on our speed. What we'll do is we'll stay for 210 now. Then once we break away out of the hold, we'll then start coming down into our flap settings and get the aircraft fully configured to come in. So passing through 5009, there is the Sierra Kilo Papa Skiathos, 6 nautical miles out. Aircraft is fully configured now to come in. You can see we're 7.5 away from the airport as we are running right beside it. Speed brakes are open now to keep us down to our flaps up. That speed brake can go in now. So we're going to break away onto our left hand turn, which is going to take us onto the 082. So in just a few moments time we're going to make a left hand turn, and then we're going to go around a 1 minute left hand turn, and then we'll break away and come in onto the approach. 200 knots for the hold, so we're going to stay at flaps up, which is 215, just around. Got a heading bug set for the 082, we've got our bank back to 25 degrees. Speed brakes are armed. So now we've reached the VOR, we're going to make a left hand turn. As we enter the hold now.
1,000 to go.
1,000 to go for 4,000 feet. So we'll hold this pattern, so then we can line ourselves back up for the the left-hand turn to come back inbound towards the approach. And as you can see now, we are in the hold, basically coming round, where we're then going to basically come back down onto the 203. So it's not exactly to scale, but it is pretty much to scale for us. So we're staying at flaps up. As we've got a 10 knot tailwind, which is going to be 10 knots on the headwind for us. So 040 at 17 knots now.
1,000 to go.
1,000 to go, which is set. So now, because we've got 17 knots, what we can do is basically we've got a +5, so anything under 10 knots is 5, we'll say 7, so we'll half the headwind now, so we'll call it 18, so we'll divide that by 2, so we'll call it a +9. 1,000 to go, so we're going to +9 it, which will be set. 1,000 to go is when we get down to 4,000 above, which is on our legs as well. Then 2,000, 1,600 above. So then whilst we're coming down onto that descent, we'll be then able to disconnect and carry it on. We're looking at 800 feet per minute. Currently tracking the 120. We can go into the hold. We can arm the hold now to exit out. So exit is armed. So basically telling the FMC now that we want to just do one circle. Once we come back round off of this hold, we're going to basically come back onto our normal path. Okay, so here we go now onto that left hand turn to come back onto the 2.9. Coming in 4008, right, our flaps up now as we make that left hand turn, which is going to take us then onto the 262. So 262's out inbound, which is set. Consider we've got confirmed the NTB for 01. He's going to keep shouting 1,000 to go as we're holding 4,000 above and we're just under between 1,000. 11.3, we are going to switch over the QNHs at 4,000 feet. We've already updated the forecast, we've updated our winds as well, as we see on the METARs for the airport. You can see that we've got 17 knot headwind, so what we're going to do is pretty much divide it by 2. We'll call it 18, so divide that by 2, which give us 9, so we'll plus 9. Anything under 10 knots, then it will just be plus 5. If you want to start getting into knots and gusts as well, how to calculate the wind elements, then I'll be doing it all in my tutorial, so be sure to check that out, guys. So there we go now, we're coming out of the hold, as we are going to now come on to the 203, which will be that left-hand turn. 203, which is checked. The hold is off now. Bring the control column over. Got the NDB in, so there's a 203. We're going to break off now into that left hand turn. There's the decel point for us, so we can start going into our flap settings. 195, 163, as we can see for the Foxtrot Quebec 01. So now we've got a plus 9 onto our res, which would be 159, so we're looking around about 850 feet now per minute. It's going to be a very quick arrival. We've got speed brake, which is armed and checked. There's our decel, so we go to a flaps 5. I want to get the aircraft fully configured by the time we come down, as it is going to start descending now for 2,000 feet. So we want to come down now to carry on its descent. 1,600, which will be checked. Down for our minimums, which is 1,600 as well. Okay, so there's 1,600 feet on our minimums, which is set, which is going to give us down on the approach 1591. We're going to disconnect for the Foxtrot Quebec 01, and then we'll follow the NDB down, which is established. So we can put the QNHs now back over to 1015. Just to double check on the menu page for the weather, it was still 1015 when we checked. 1014. So we'll check 1014, which is also set. We'll get a reserve gauge in, which is 1014. Coming down now for flaps 5. There's our next decel. As we come around, needs to be max 185 on that right hand turn, as we can see here. So there's 185, which is all ready for us to come in. Tailwind's currently 8, it is apparently 17 knots down there, so we've got plus 9 in, so that'll give us a 159, around 850 feet on our descent path, coming in on the 3-degree glide path. This approach point is at the Locator, which is the NDB, which we also forgot to do. We'll stick to TARA, which is set. So there's flaps 5, speed brakes are armed, just to double check. Auto brake set to max. We've got 1014, which is also set and checked, as we're now going to get ready to come back in onto the 008 turn. So we'll get the 008 in. Okay, 008, which is set, coming down for 2,700. So on our approach checklist, we've got the NGB, which is in and set. We've got the flaps 15, which will go down as we come round. 2500, which is set.
1,000 to go.
So I'm going to go down to flaps 15, gear down, as we go into this right hand turn for the 008. Drop our speed down to 163. Gears down, 3 green. Flaps 15 is set. Going round now to intercept onto the 008. We should see the NDB, the blue line, start to appear as we come round onto our landing checklist. Flaps are set 15, speed brake is armed and checked. Engine start switches can be continuous, which are also set and checked. Passenger signs are on, and we tell the cabin to get ready for our arrival. So, on for this right hand turn, we should see the NDB come into view. .159, flaps 30, 1000 to go, which is checked. There's the Foxtrot Quebec 01 where we're going to disconnect from. As we continue that descent down. So there's the runway. As we can see, there's the NDB there. Once we get to 1600 feet, we can then get the aircraft in on the visual, ready to come down. So we'll go to flaps 30, which is going to be down for our 159. Currently it's only 7, so what I may do is we'll put it down to 155 for now, as it doesn't look like it's 17 degrees, so under 10 knots, do a +5, which is set. Coming under 1900 feet now, we are fully established and ready to come in. 1600 feet, just passing 1900, 1014, which is set. Gear is down, 3 green, as we said, and our landing checklist is fully complete. So, as we get ready now to disconnect, going to come down around 850. Plus 100. There's minimums, discontinue. So disconnect the autopilot and disconnect the auto throttle. And we can now start to come down onto that descent. Minimums continue. Okay, so 155, we're staying full. As we come round to line up. Get the trimming. Low on the throttle. I'm down to around 850 now. Okay. Puppies are in sight.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
Gonna want to get it down very quick. It's 2 red, 2 white. Seems we've got 6 knots, we could have done flaps 40. Speed brakes are up and reversers are active, so very bumpy one. Check, reversers can be stowed. Also very convenient disarmed, and we are down in Skiathos. So a little bit of a bumpy one as we came down, but we got down safe. The approach was absolutely lovely coming in as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. The local time is 6:37 p.m. and it's currently about 31
So we
degrees
get the speed brakes in now.
You can now use your
That's going
mobile
to be fully
devices.
retracted.
Please remain seated until the aircraft has come
It wasn't
to
bad actually getting it down nice and firm, because if we was to sit about playing, trying to flare it, trying to get the perfect landing, it's just not going to happen. We haven't got the runway to be messing about, to be honest. We could see how far we had on the landing. We'll go and have a look at the landing actually and see what the minus was. See if we can have a look quick. Okay, so we'll line back up now as we come back down. What we can do is we'll have a quick look. I don't think it shows you the landing rate, I don't think. I thought it did, but it don't. Approach rating, overload, high rate of descent below 500 and 1,000, overload landing. Well, we came in hot. We wasn't messing about. That was a lovely landing, lovely approach. As we now taxi on down the runway, we're going to go down into stand, and what we can do now, guys, is I'll leave you with the landing cinematics for the Locator approach for runway 01 down for Skiathos. If you enjoy the flights, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also keep a lookout for the tutorials coming on the channel where you guys can learn how to fly the 737 just that little bit more. So I'll see you guys soon. Take care for now, and I'll see you on the next available flight. Bye bye.